All versions of the ACC9 can be found at the aircadetleague.com/library/forums website. This video is going to cover the various steps required for closing out your year. The first step in closing out your year is reconciling your accounts. So under main menu, we'll go again and look at the transaction tools, and we have an account detailed reconciliation and account summary reconciliation. So we'll start with the detailed reconciliation. This is a simple balancing of each of your accounts. So in this case, we'll start and we'll look at your main account. So you input the date for the end of your year, and I'm using ACC9 from 2019-2020, so I put in a date of August 31st of 2020. And then you would put in your bank statement's account balance. For this one, it is $21,910. And then we double check, and you can see now that the left hand side and the right hand side show that they are actually balanced. A quick way to fill in all the information for all your accounts is with the balance quick entry form. And here you can just fill in the closing balances for all your various accounts and then just say insert the amounts. Saves a lot of scrolling time through the system. So what you would do now is just look through each one and make sure that you see the left and right hand side numbers are matching. Okay, and we can see in this case it is. Now, I'm going to purposely actually put in a mistake here. So let's say I put in 21,911. Now, as we see when we scroll down, there is a mismatch happening here. Okay, but we're going to go over to the account summary reconciliation page, and what you'll see happen is the short summary for each account. We now see an unbalanced amount. Okay, so let's go back to the detailed. We will make that the correct amount. And if we go back to the summary, we now see that that account is balanced. So the summary page is just handy in that you can quickly scan through all your accounts and look to see that they are balanced. And that would be the first step you have in getting your ACC9 closing the year done. The second step in getting your ACC9 closed out for the year is to double check your financial report balance sheet. So again, we just go to the main menu, and under main menu we pick the financial reports, and you can see there are 7 different pages here. Now these reports are all auto-generated and populated by the ACC9, and all we're going to be doing is double checking the balance sheet, which is page 6. So this is page 6 of the financial report, and the top part of the report just shows all your assets, followed by your liabilities and equity. The big thing here is to look at this section on the right, and it shows a comparison of your line 1900 total assets to your line 3700 total liabilities and equity. And the goal is to have those match. Now sometimes you'll see that's out by a few dollars, and if it is out by a few dollars, a lot of times it is caused by the nominal values of $1 for all of your assets. So let's say that you were out by $2 or $3. You're allowed to use this adjustment box here, and normally you can use that adjustment box up to about $5, just enough to offset the fixed assets part. So if we were to put $2 in here to offset it, you notice that instantly this balance sheet went to the red and said, hey, we're out by $2 now. So for now, we'll just remove that, and as you can see, we now have a balanced balance sheet and ready to go on to the third step of this process. The next step in closing out your year is to make sure that you have a hard copy of the financial report. Go to your main menu again, and under main menu, pick the financial reports. And simply go to each of the pages shown here and print those pages. And this will ensure that you've got a hard copy for your records. The last step in closing the year is to go to, again, your main menu and pick the closing the year page. And this time we're going to go to the end of year. Now this page has a summary of the information that you will need for starting next year's ACC 9, what we use in the data setup page. You can see it'll show that any checks or deposits that did not get reconciled. It will show the ACC 9 information from page 6 balance sheet, as well as the account balances that you'll use for opening up the next year. So on this page we have a 4-step process that's being shown here. The first one tells you to make sure that you have saved a copy of this. And that's just safety's sake. Secondly, then there is step 2, which is print data. And this will just print this page out so you have a hard copy of that information for starting the data setup of the next year's ACC 9. The third step is something new, and it's called a file conversion. Now the file conversion is going to create a file that you're going to send off to your provincial committee, and these are used for them to do what we call roll-up reports on all of the Air Cadet squadrons. And simply enough is you just click on the file conversion, and it will ask that you're going to create a new file, and if you want to continue, and it creates that new file. Just make sure you know where you've saved it, and this is a file that you're going to email off. So now I'm just going to say no. And then the final of this is a new feature called the reset data. So make sure that you have kept a separate copy of everything at this point and you're ready to go. And what the reset data is going to do is going to ask you to save under a new file name, and it's going to take out all the transactional data from the file and basically give you a file that is ready for next year to start. Again, you just click on the reset data and then you agree to it, and then it's going to process, and you see that all the numbers have disappeared in our columns for the on this page. So quick check is, let's go back to the transaction logs and we'll look at the revenue, and we see now it's blank, which is great, and the same was going to be happening with the expense. And we also will check our setup page, and we see that the data for the squadron is still there, but the information for bank balances has been removed, as well as the last year's ACC 9 information, which you'll need to be putting in. And that prepares you for the next year.